Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to challenge a piece of financial advice that you've probably heard a million times. And we're going to explore a simple shift that could completely realign your entire relationship with money. I mean, we've all heard this 1,000 times, haven't we? You're told to pick a goal, buy a house, save for retirement, and just work towards it. That's pretty much the foundation of almost all traditional financial advice. But what if? What if that's just a huge mistake? Today, we're diving into this really powerful idea that says starting with goals, that's actually the wrong way to go about it. And it might be the very thing holding you back from real financial well-being. So here's the thing. The problem with all that traditional financial planning is that it just jumps straight into setting goals. And when it does that, it completely skips over the most critical first step. I'm talking about the actual foundation of your entire financial life. And that foundation, it's your values, not your goals. This is the core concept we're talking about today. The whole idea is that every single financial decision you make should start from what you fundamentally believe and care about. So think of your values as the engine, right? Not the destination. So it really all comes down to understanding this key difference. Goals, they're the what, the specific, measurable things you want to achieve. They give you a direction to head in, but your values, that's the why. These are your core convictions about what's truly important, and that's what gives you the motivation to actually keep going when things get tough. And listen, this isn't just some abstract theory. The financial advisor who actually came up with this whole system, he admits that he used to be a totally goal-focused salesperson. He'd literally craft his pitch before he even met a client. But then he had this big realization that real success, both for him and for his clients, absolutely depended on starting with their values and their beliefs first.
Okay, so if values are so important, how in the world do you figure out what your financial values actually are? It sounds like a huge question, and it is, but believe it or not, there's a pretty clear way to find the answer. Now, here's a simple but really powerful distinction to keep in your back pocket. Think about it like this. Your values are that deep down why that influences your really big spending choices. We're talking a house, a car. Your beliefs, on the other hand, which are often shaped by, your family or culture, those are what drive your smaller day-to-day habits, like that daily coffee or how you do your grocery shopping. All right, now for the fun part. Let's get practical. We're going to walk through a fantastic exercise from the source material that is designed specifically to help you uncover your own core money values. And look, this isn't about what you think your values should be. Nope. This is a process of discovery. We're going to break down this huge question by looking at the cold, hard evidence of your life, your words, your spending, and your time. So the process is really clear and direct. Step 1, you ask yourself that core question. What's important about money to you? And you write it down. Step 2 and 3, you look at the hard data. Where does your money and your time actually go? And then step 4, that's where the magic happens. You compare those lists. And this is the moment of truth. You lay out your lists side by side. Is there a match? Do you actually spend your time and money on what you say is important? For a lot of people, this is a huge eye-opener. It can reveal a massive disconnect they never even knew was there. So just to see how powerful this can be, let's look at a real-world example. This is what happens when someone's values and their spending are just completely out of sync. So, let's meet the couple from this case study. They're in their 30s, married, with a really solid income after taxes. And their stated values? Totally admirable. They wanted to start a family and create legacy wealth. On paper, everything looks great, right? But then you look at their actual behavior and wow, what a disconnect. They said family and legacy was their top value, but their money was flowing into leases for a Land Rover and a Cadillac Escalade. They said they wanted future security, but their daily life was filled with designer clothes and eating out constantly. Their spending was actively working against what they said they wanted most. But here's the good news. This story has a really happy ending. Seeing this misalignment wasn't some kind of failure. Far from it. It was the turning point. Once they finally saw that gap, they could consciously choose to align their spending with their true values. And that's when they finally started making real, meaningful progress. So, what does all of this actually mean for you? How do you take this incredible insight and apply it to build a financial life that really, truly matters to you? Well, here is the key shift in your thinking. You're not just going to throw your goals out the window. Not at all. Instead, you just put them in their proper place. It's a simple change in order. First, you figure out your value-driven priorities.
Then, and only then, do you set goals that actually support those values. And if you need any proof of just how obsessed our culture is with goals, get this. A quick book search for financial goals turns up over 1 million results. That's insane. The entire industry is just laser-focused on the what, while almost completely ignoring the much, much more powerful why. All right, let's wrap this up with the key takeaways. Your values, not your goals, are what really matter most and determine how you spend your time and money. Super important to remember. Your values can change over time, and most of us don't even know what our money values really are without doing the work. And the big one, goals are only useful if they're perfectly aligned with those values. Think of it this way. Goals are the tools, but your values, they're the blueprint for the entire project. So that brings us right back to where we started. We're going to leave you with the one single most powerful question you can ask yourself about all of this. Answering this question honestly, and then having the courage to build your financial life around that answer, well, that's the real secret to success. That's how you make sure your money is serving your life and not the other way around.